What's up, guys? Well, we just got Dexter New Blood episode 3 titled Smoke Signals. Dexter continuing to try to cover up his tracks quite literally during the murder of the first episode. We get to learn a little bit more about what our big bad does to their victims. And we also get to see Harrison a little bit more in his school setting and see a little bit more of who this kid is. Overall, episode that I did like. I am starting to get a little bit concerned about the pacing of the show thus far, though, but we'll get into that. As far as the positives of Dexter New Blood episode 3, I really enjoyed the stuff with Harrison at school. I think it's starting to flesh him out more as a character, give us a little bit more idea of how he's similar to Dexter, but also how he's very different, because he's obviously highly intelligent. There's a whole scene where he scores off the charts on a test to the point where he's accused of cheating, and it causes a little bit of a rift between him and Dexter because Dexter's a little bit of a clueless dad and doesn't defend him the way that he should. Eventually takes the test again without any phones and scores even higher. So he's very smart. But we also get to see him in the Avenger role that Dexter takes a very dark path to be that Avenger role in his own way, to where there's this kid that's being bullied at school, and these kids that he hung out with in episode 2 that he's kind of becoming somewhat friends with, he realizes that they're basically mentally torturing this guy, and he steps in and rights the wrongs and even like grabs a dude by the throat and just establishes his dominance in front of the entire hallway that he is the new badass in school. But not really in a confident, like, cocky way. Just a way of like, dude, you guys are pieces of shit, so go ahead and try something, I'll fuck all of you up, which is really cool. I like seeing that. I mean, we all love seeing bullies get their just desserts. Sometimes they take it a little bit too far in some representations in shows and TV shows, at least from what my experience of bullying was, but this was very realistic, just cyberbullying, somebody catfishing a kid, making him think that there's a girl out there that really likes him, and all the while they're just laughing at his expense. So I enjoyed all of that. Everything regarding Harrison and how they developed him as a character. Even his interactions with, forget her name, the daughter of Dexter's girlfriend, and them kind of starting to a little bit of a bond and a little bit of an understanding of each other, and even working together to an extent to get the white buck sacrificed in the proper way rather than just discarded like a carcass found on the road. Everything very good with his character. I also really like how they're slowly revealing what the eventual big bad does to his victims. Like we saw a little bit in episode 2 to where I said it's Clancy Brown. I had like 5 different people swear up and down it's not Clancy Brown. I bet my left nut it's Clancy Brown. I know what the dude's eyes look like, and I know what they look like in this episode too, so I'll wait to be proven wrong on that one. Clancy Brown, aka our big bad for this season, in episode 2 was shown just basically surveilling this girl that was in this locked up room that almost looked like a hotel room, but it's completely shut off. And then they continue that on in this episode with showing how he not only kills his victims, but what he does after he kills his victims. And it's really disturbing. It's really fucked up. It's very different, which is cool, because if you're gonna have a new big bad, you gotta have him be different than the Ice Truck Killer and the Trinity Killer and Miguel Prado and all the great bads that we have had throughout the series of Dexter in 8 seasons. Well, mostly great bad guys, we'll put it that way. Sorry, season 8. Sorry, brain surgeon. But I like the fact that this season is taking a very different approach and a very slow, methodical approach at making us experience the bad guy's MO and experience how they kill their victims, to where previous to now, we usually have all of that information in the first episode, and by episode 3, we've already seen the big bad kill a number of people, for the most part, not every season. So I like the way that they're slowly showing somebody do these disgusting things, and they're probably going to show even more before it's eventually like the big conflict of the season is Dexter versus Clancy Brown, Dexter versus whoever's working with Clancy Brown. So I like that. It's a different approach, and it makes this show and this season have a different flow to it than the other 8 seasons that we've gotten. Now, as far as a couple issues that I had with this episode, I've liked what they've done with Deb as his inner monologue, as his conscience, as the other side of his personality kind of battling the dark passenger. I thought that swapping out Harry for Deb made a lot of sense. It didn't seem like something that was just there for the sake of we gotta have Jennifer Carpenter back. It made narrative sense for the way that Dexter is in his life now, to where he's not trying to understand his dark passenger. He's quite literally trying to suppress it completely, if not delete it from existence, And she makes more sense as the voice to be giving him that motivation than Harry did, because Harry was always the one trying to hone and focus the dark passenger rather than get rid of it. However, I think they're going too far. I think they're going too far with what all her presence can do. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember Harry ever even touching Dexter, let alone being able to press him against a window or grab him by the face like she did in episode 2 or anything like that. There's even a segment here that was really silly to where he pulls up to the school and she actually, her presence exits the vehicle and starts putting dead bodies into this grinder and splaying blood all over the place. And it's all in his head, I get that. It's not like a giant stretch, but it's such a huge stretch of what we've known his mental voice to do that to me it's just going a little bit too far. It's going a little bit into the slapstick, and it's being not quite what I know and what I love about Deb. Like the first episode was very much Deb. That was very much like Deb was actually there, things that she would actually say, the way that she would actually act. Now she's just kind of like on steroids and on cocaine with the way that she's presenting the inner monologue inside of his head. It's a bit too much for me. And the final thing, it's not really something that's a negative so far, because I do like slow build in a story as long as it eventually does go somewhere, and I have all the confidence that it is going to go somewhere in this show. But the fact that we only are getting 10 episodes, they have, unless they're lying, they have made it pretty much definitively clear. This is it. 10 more episodes of Dexter, and we are done. No season 2, no second revival, no oops, it was all a dream, none of that. This is it. Episode 10 of Dexter's New Blood will be the new definitive ending for Dexter. And we're already 3 episodes into that, and it still feels like we're barely through half of the first act of the story, because things are such slow moving and such methodical pace of how they're revealing the villain, how they're revealing what the eventual conflict is going to be that's going to take hold of this season, how they're developing the relationships of the people in this town with Dexter or Jim, how they're developing the relationship between Dexter and Harrison. I mean, this entire episode, for all that I like what they do with Harrison, the only development we get between him and his father is, yeah, you're right, I should have defended you when you cheated on that test. And it's like, at this point, we're 3 episodes in, he's living with you, like I feel like we should feel a little bit more of a bond or a focus between them. And I don't know, just something's starting to concern me about the slow pace that they're doing all of this. And maybe it's just because I'm greedy and I want all 10 of these episodes to just be awesome, explosive episodes, which is unrealistic, and I know that, but I'm getting a little bit scared. It's PTSD from season 8 returning to where I know we only have 7 more episodes of Dexter left, and I'm like, is things gonna get crazy soon? Now, one thing that I do want to discuss down in the comment section before I wrap this up is, where do you think the story is gonna be going with this kid that Harrison is kind of mentoring to a certain degree, this very disturbed individual that has just been bullied his entire life? When they showed the drawings of him killing all of the bullies and even showed him like with a Punisher outfit, like he might be like a school shooter character or something, do you think that's going to develop into something to where Harrison's going to have his own big bad to deal with this season in the form of that kid going off the rails? Or do you think that was just something they explored in this episode to kind of highlight how troublesome bullying can be for somebody's mental health? Let me know that down below, because that's something I want to discuss with everybody. But overall, guys, another good episode of this show. This is still kind of in the stage setting segment of this plot. It's still kind of carrying through all of the exposition, all of the putting the pieces together for what eventually will become the chessboard of this season. I just hope that we get to the action, we get to the big conflict a little sooner than later, because the greedy little bitch inside of me wants the insane, tension-filled, on the edge of your seat Dexter for as many episodes of this season that I can get. So overall, still enjoying the show. Just want the pace to start get going after this. So what do you guys think of episode 3, Smoke Signals? Are you still on board with this show? Do you feel like it's going too slow for your taste? Or are you really enjoying that slow, methodical plot building that they're exploring in this season? And what do you think about that whole plot line with Harrison and his new friend? I want to discuss that, so please let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, please like and share this video and hit that subscribe button if you are a fan of Dexter. I reviewed all 8 seasons over the past year. I've reviewed all 3 episodes to this point, and I'm going to review every single one through to the end of this series. Then I'm going to rank all the seasons and rank all of Dexter's villains, the main villains. Not every single one, not all 45 or however many there are. But if you're a fan, stick around because there's plenty of Dexter content coming your way. So hit the subscribe button. It's the best way to catch all of that. Thank you guys for watching as always, and remember, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.